Basses, I want you to look at the board behind me because in the songs we're using today, you have two choices of how to shift. One of them is doing a regular shift where we play G, A, B, shift to first finger C, and then go back the same way. Let's try that shift option. 3, 4. Here comes pinky finger B. Now shift to first finger on the C, back down. The other way is to shift in between the A and the B and to use pinky finger or second finger instead of pinky finger. Then you can reach the C with a fourth finger. I call this a special shift. Let me demonstrate it. Here's the G and the A. Now instead of playing the pinky, we would move our second finger there and then just play the C note with pinky. Now this might feel really close together. Okay, let's try this together. Let's play G twice. First finger A. Now move the second finger to where pinky normally is. And then C with pinky. And that is the special shift. Now look at page 35 in your Essential Elements lesson book and look at 140. And if you look at the last two measures of the first line, you're going to see that B and that C and using the finger numbers for the special shift that we just practiced. So the ending of the first line up to the C. Okay, this is where you have a choice. Let's practice the first line of bingo and let's start up bow. So make sure you have a push bow. I'll say 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Over to G. Long bow B. Here's the special shift. B, C natural, pinky. Let's do the first line of bingo again. Remember that we start with a push bow or up bow because there's a little V over the first note. Set yourself up. I will say 1, 2, 1, and we will start. 1, 2, 1. Over to G. Long bow B. Special shift. Here's the C with the pinky. Find the slur on the second line of bingo and let's practice the slur. It goes from F sharp to D and then climbs back up separate bows. Okay, let's try it together. So set up your F sharp, put your eyes on the music at that slur in the second line. 1 and 2 and. Long bow, long bow. One more time on the slur. 3 and 4 and. Now let's put the whole song together. Remember we start up bow because there's the V over the first note. 1, 2, 1. That you recognize this song for the rhythm changes when we speed up and slow down because that can get kind of tricky. Let's play it one more time. Up bow start. 1, 2, 1. Over to G. B. Here's the C. Down to A. G. And the slur. Look at number 141 and find the last two measures of the first line. As a bass player, this is that special shift, playing the C natural with pinky finger, B with second finger, and then shifting back. And then we have to go from open G to high D. Let's try that together. So this is last two measures of the first line. Set up the special shift with second finger on the B and pinky finger on C natural. 3, 4. Shift back to the A. Open G, then high D. Let's do that one more time. 3, 4. Now I want to practice getting from the end of the first line to the beginning of the second line. So we're going to play these last two measures again up to that high D. And now look at the second line. We have to play C natural with our first finger, jump back to A, and then play two Bs. Okay, so here we are, last two measures of first line, but we're going to go on the second line. Set up your special shift. 3, 4. Shift back. High D. C with first finger. Shift. B, B. One more time. Special shift. 3, 4. G to high D. C first finger, shift to A. Now I want to practice getting from the end of the first line to the beginning of the second line. So we're going to play these last two measures again up to that high D. And now look at the second line. We have to play C natural with our first finger, jump back to A, and then play two Bs. Okay, so here we are, last two measures of first line, but we're going to go on the second line. Set up your special shift. 3, 4. Shift back. High D. C with first finger. Shift. B, B. One more time. Special shift. 3, 4. G to high D. C first finger. Shift to A. Now we're going to play 141. We're going to start up bow because it is the little V over the first note. I want your eyes to try to notice if there's two of the same note in a row or just one. So here we are at the beginning, 141. There's two Gs, one F sharp, two Gs. So that's the kind of thing I want you to look for. Here we go. Up bow start. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and we'll start. 1, 2, 3. 2 A's. Special shift. Here's high D. Second line, first finger, shift. Now we're ready to try the entire song of 141. When you look through it with your eyes, you might notice that the rhythm stays consistent, quarter notes the whole time, but we do start with that up bow or push bow because of the V above the top note. Here we are at the beginning. I will say 1, 2, 3, and we will play on count 4. 1, 2, 3. Special shift C. High D, back to A. Basses, we are going to review what the notes are called when we shift up on the D string to third position. So we start off with 2 Ds, 2 Es, and 2 F sharps. Let's play those together. 3, 4. If we weren't going to shift, we'd use G and A in regular first position. But now we are going to shift. So you're going to play a G with your first finger and an A with your pinky finger on the D string. Okay, so now we're going to be shifting up on the D string. Let's practice that together. We're going to play 2 notes each from the D string. 3, 4. Shift up to G and then the pinky finger A. Now, the times that we would like to use this A with the pinky finger is if we have to jump from a high D to an A note really quickly, we can just use the same finger and move over to the D string instead of shifting back. We're going to try this in our next song. Basses, we're going to explore a little bit on the first line of 142. And I want to just have you try the first 2 measures here. So it's B twice, G, B, and then moving to high D. Here we go. 3, 4. Up to high D. Bravo. Let's do it one more time. 3, 4. Now they want to play 2 A's, 2 F sharps, and they're recommending that we go up to this new pinky A that we just practiced, and then cross over for the C. Okay, so let's try that. It's a little bit tricky, but I think you can do this. Here we go. Measure 3 and measure 4. Set up that A. 3, 4. F sharp. Now move the pinky up to the third position on D string. Here we go on the 2 A's. Cross over first finger. Let's try that again without stopping. So here we are, measure 3 and measure 4. 3, 4. Up to the pinky A. Over to C first finger. Now if that was really frustrating for you, you have permission to play the regular A and then shift to the C. That is totally okay. Look at the second line of number 142. Here they would like to recommend using the pinky finger A because we just came from a high D at the end of the first line, and then we have to play C with first finger. Otherwise, we'd be jumping back and forth for all these notes. Okay, so they're going to say D over to the A to the C. Let's just try those notes without even reading them in the music. Play your high D and then go over to the pinky finger on the D string, play A, and back to G string first finger. Let's do that again. D, over to the pinky, over to B, or C, excuse me. Okay, one more time. D, over to A, over to C. Okay, now peek in the music. Okay, so they're doing the long D, and then over to the A, C, shift, and then open G. Basses, we are going to try all the way from the beginning up to where variation 1 starts. So set yourself up. You can choose which kind of shift you are most comfortable with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to high D. Here's the A. A again. C with first finger. B. Up to high D. Cross over A with pinky. Shift down. Let's do that one more time. Set yourself up. 3, 4. Up to high D. A. Over to F sharp. C first finger. B. High D. Over to the A pinky. Shift back. Basses, you'll want to get really comfortable with this first line and a half here before you go into variation 1. Now we're going to work at variation 1. So find the second line and look for the third measure, and you'll even see the word variation 1 written above it. So a variation is just a melody that is changed a little bit. And for this variation, they are changing the rhythm. Instead of plain quarter notes, they're doing everything else is very similar. Okay, all the shifts are the same and everything. Let's try variation 1. 3, 4, and. Up to high D, first finger A. Here comes A again, first finger C. Up to high D, pinky A. Half note. Let's play the whole song 142. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to A. C with first finger. A, then